Yes. You have tuned in to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Cook Hall. Today's podcast is brought to you by Faith versus Fear, Breaking Family Ties, which can be found and available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. This podcast is designed with you in mind to remind you that you can always click that reset button and start all over again. It's never too late to be great. So now I want you to sit back. I want you to relax. I want you to clear your mind. Take in that deep breath. Prepare yourself for change as we listen in on Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Cook Hall. Let's go. Welcome to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast. I am your host, Michelle Cook Hall. Listen, it is always my honor. It is always my pleasure to be able to come and share with you guys some tips, some tools that I believe will help you and assist you in becoming a better you. We are a family. We are a community. So I feel like it's my responsibility, my obligation, and my passion to be able to share. And I hope you're doing the same. I hope that you are empowering and encouraging and sharing with those in your community, those who are around you, and those that you can reach. Just being a vessel for good, right? And I hope that you're doing the same. I hope that I'm finding you in a place where you are at peace. I hope that I'm finding you at a place where you are not self sabotaging yourself, not self hating, not self degrading, not punishing yourself for not doing something that you feel like you should have done a long time ago. I hope I'm finding you, if anything, in a place of healing and self reflection. I hope that I'm finding you in a place where even if your physical body is under attack, that your mental and emotional health is in a healthy place. I pray that I find you there. And if you find yourself not there, I pray that by the end of this podcast that you will find yourself in a better place, because that's why I do what I do. Is to help you um, to get to a place that you can be healthy mentally, emotionally, and as well as physically. And so that's what this is all about. Because we all will, if you have not. And I say this often because that's just the reality of it. At some point in your life, some point in my life, we all come to a place where we need encouragement, where we need empowerment, when we need to be reminded that we are important and that we are gifts to the body of Christ, and that we are here for a reason, and that we have purpose. So I think we all come to a point in our lives that, we need that, because so many things can come into your life that tries to rob you of that understanding. And so my prayer is that I can play maybe a small part in that revelation for you, a small part in which you are, on this journey, and then you can say, hey, someone took the time to tell me that I still have purpose. Somebody took the time to tell me that I'm here for a reason, and that I'm not a mistake. Because, let's be honest, so many people have been told their entire lives that they were a mistake, and they need to be encouraged today and told, even at the age of 50, you're not a mistake. Sometimes people create this pattern of self sabotage, and they don't even understand why they're doing this, right? Constantly making the same mistakes over and over again, and they really don't understand why, right? And sometimes this is why I always talk about getting to the core, getting to the root, go back and find out why you're behaving this way. Why are you seeing these same things over and over again? And oftentimes it's because someone has said something to them, when they was younger. They might have just pushed it out of their mind, but it's there. The damage is there. Some people think that, that happened when I was, 5 years old. That's not affecting me. Well, look at your life. Look at your life and tell me that you believe that what happened to you 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old didn't affect you. I mean, look at yourself. Tell me. Tell me that that's not really bothering you. Tell me realistically and honestly that you feel that those words or those actions did not affect you in a bad way. Okay? The reality of it is, I always state, if we know that positive actions and words affect us, then we have to be realistic to understand that the negative also affect us. And sometimes it seems as if the negative lasts way longer than the positive, right? We're so more likely to believe someone who comes to tell us something, bad or hurtful about ourselves than we are of someone who's trying to encourage, you know. And I think that me just saying that, it kind of reminds me of the psalmist. I'm gonna speak specifically about David in the Bible, and the fact that he always encouraged himself. He encouraged himself. And I think that one of the reasons why that probably was done is because it is difficult. It is very difficult to um, receive sometimes encouragement, or positivity from other people when you have constantly been in this environment previously where there was a lot of negative, especially when it's towards you. And so you're more likely to be prone to receive the negative than the positive. But if you put into practice encouraging yourself, if you put into practice speaking life to yourself, speaking health to yourself, speaking positivity to yourself, if you put into practice that, right, then it will be way more powerful, way more effective for you and for me. I speak from a place of experience, because it's sometimes in my life I had found it very easy to, see the gift or potential in someone else, encourage them and empower them. But then when it came to me, I found myself being very hard on myself, extremely hard on myself. And I guess that's why they said we could be our worst critic, right? And I literally found myself doing this all the time, being my worst critic. But then I can encourage you, you know. I can tell you you can handle it. I could tell you, you'll be fine. You're doing great. You're doing awesome. Keep up the good work. Don't let that push you down. Don't let that stump you. But then when it came to myself, I found that a little bit more challenging. So, learning to encourage yourself, learning to speak over your own life. When you look into the mirror, encourage the person that you see. Before you decide to go around encouraging everybody else, telling them they're doing great, you know, look in the mirror because it's like you're living a lie. You're living a lie when you can tell someone else that they're strong, that they'll be fine, they can make it, I see greatness in you, and or it's that's awesome what you did, or you will overcome that, or it's a lie to say that to them and then look at yourself and say, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you made that mistake. You know, I can't believe you're still doing the same thing. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. Um, you'll never get what you want. You'll never get what been asking for. You'll never get to that place. These are words that people speak over themselves. And think about what you're saying. Listen to that. You'll never, you're never, you're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. Listen to what you're saying. Never and not enough. Not enough. Those words are so powerful. And if they're repeated, because we talked about practice what you preach, talked about um, whatever we practice, we perfect. So if we're saying that, to ourselves repeatedly, what do you expect? Can we be honest today? Can we be honest? Can I take my time and be honest with you today? What can I expect for myself? Okay, let's use me. Let's put me in this fire today. Let me step out first, okay? Let's use me as an example. How can I help myself? How can I improve? How can I become a better version of myself if I don't start with myself? Come on, somebody. If I am just helping everybody around me, serving everybody around me, right? But when it comes to me, I don't use or apply the same principles. So if I get on here, on my podcast and tell you guys all these wonderful tips and tools, but never apply that to myself, what am I doing? I'm living a lie, right? I'm living a lie. So if I look at myself in the mirror and I don't see the potential, if I don't see the strength, if I don't see the perseverance, if I don't see the drive and the thrive, right? What am I doing? Now, the truth is, we are all, once again, make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But should I be defined by my mistake? Like one mistake? Like just say there is an area in your life or in my life that is really challenging, really difficult, right? Am I defined by that one thing? Especially if I'm working on it, right? So say someone has an addiction, right? Say they have an addiction. It doesn't matter. It's just an addiction. But they know they have an addiction. They they know that they should be in a better place, than where they are. When I see them, should I just see an addict? Or should I see someone who is trying to become the better version of themselves? See someone who is persevering, working hard, loving themselves enough to get out of that place. I mean, what should I say? And oftentimes, the thing is, the person that's dealing with it, they won't see the thrive. They won't see the potential. They're just seeing themselves as an addict. They just see them at the lowest moment. And unfortunately, as a society, we'll just see that too, right? We don't see the drive. We don't see the accomplishment. We don't see the push or whatever. We'll just see that addiction, whatever that addiction is. And it's so heartbreaking. You have people in your life who knew you at your worst moment having an addiction. And no matter how much you have overcome, no matter how much growth you have made, changes you have made, healthy choices you have made, when they see you, they still define you by that one moment in your life. When I say moment, we're not talking about second. We're not talking about 5 days. We're talking about a moment, like moment that feels like a season in your life, right? So that's what we're talking about when we're using the word moment today. Season in your life. And when they see you, you can be a totally, reformed person, but all they're going to see is that. And if you allow that to speak louder to you than your progress, then you can find yourself right back where you were. Because people say, what's the point? I've done everything I'm supposed to do, but yet they're still treating me, like the old person. So that's why I'm talking today about you seeing you the way you need to see yourself. You seeing yourself in this different light. You seeing yourself as healed, mended, strong, persevering, still getting there. Like you see yourself in the process of arriving. You see yourself stronger than you were 5 years. You see yourself, in a better place than you were 2 years ago. That's why it's important for you and I to see ourselves in the place that we are, in the place that we want to be. Because if we can't convince ourselves, if we can't convince ourselves, if we can't see that, then someone else can easily come into our lives and manipulate and change the whole narrative. Okay? Because we're going to allow them to speak louder to us than we can to ourselves. A lot of people are easily influenced by other people. And so that influence comes because you have not established the oneness in yourself. You have not established, the relationship with you. You have not gotten to know who you are now. Not the person who was, in that place 5 years ago or 2 years ago, but the person that you are now. The person that you aspire to be, the person that you're working on. It takes great strength to work on things. It takes great strength and confidence to take a good look at yourself and reflect and approach healthy changes and choices and step out of the place of fear and anxiety and depression and addiction and grief and all these different challenges that people face. These obstacles that comes into all of our lives at some point or the other, one of them or multiple you know issues that come into our lives, we all are going to face it. But to face it and to take healthy steps, to make healthy choices, takes great strength. Hear me when I say that. To face something that you just knew would knock you off your feet, and you just knew would take you out, and you're going to always be known as that, always be dealing with that, always be struggling with that. But then you go into a path of healthiness. You're working hard on that. You're determined to do it, and you're facing it, and you are making necessary steps. That takes so much strength, and you should look at yourself in the mirror and go, kudos to you. Kudos to you. um Sometimes you should look in the mirror and say, you are doing great today. I mean, you could have had a lot of stuff go on wrong and difficult, and it pulled you, at every side. You was pulling left, you was pulling right. I mean, it was even trying to take your feet to make it fall, but you survived it, you thrived it, you're still standing, and you should look at yourself in the mirror and go, you did great today. See, we're looking for somebody else to come and say, you're doing great. I see the progress. I see. I'm so happy to see that you're doing great. And you're just waiting and waiting on that. But if that never comes, you should be able to go to yourself. You're doing great. You're doing great. Instead of saying, well, I must not be doing that good or showing any real changes because no one has even said anything. You know, and then you get sad and you get depressed and you start feeling, well, maybe I'm not making any changes. Maybe I'm not any different. Maybe I'm the same person. Maybe I'll never get out of this hole. Maybe things will never, change for me. Maybe I'll always be on this awful Ferris wheel of life, an escalator that ain't moving, just stuck, an elevator that's stuck. No one wants to be there. It's all about how you see things. I can't emphasize that enough. I've talked about that several times on several podcasts because perception is everything. How you see it determines how you approach it. That determines the outcome. So, your perspective of how you look at challenges and life and struggles and ups and the downs of life and the constant changes, the constant struggles, and the constant need for adjusting, how we deal and approach that determines everything. Everything. And unfortunately, a lot of times people cannot handle that and then they become broken. But you are still not beyond repair. You are still not beyond repair. So if you find yourself today saying, I'm that person, Michelle, I'm that person, I'm broken. If you find yourself saying today, I have done everything that I possibly could do, but yet it is still not working for me. I have made the best choices I could. When everybody else was doing something else, I was still trying and I was still trying, but it just didn't work out. This addiction has put me in a place that I don't even recognize myself, that others don't recognize me, and I'm lost and I'm hurt, and I'm confused. This anxiety has got me feeling like as if I would lose my mind at any moment in time. This depression keeps me grounded to my bed, and I feel like I'm imprisoned in my own thoughts. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. This physical ailment, this physical issue has got me feeling as if I have no faith. Something I must be doing wrong. Because why is this happening to me? Why can't I overcome this? Why can't I get through this? If any of this sounds familiar to you or to someone that you know, share this podcast with them. Because I'm here to encourage you today, to tell you, number one, hear me when I say you're not alone. Hear me when I tell you that you're not alone. That's not only is someone else dealing with something like yours, they're dealing with things that are harder, that are more heartbreaking, that are actually at a point in their life when they just can't take another thing. Not only that, but you are never ever alone in this. That God is with you. And what I find absolutely fascinating about this is that here is a fact. Here's a truth. Nothing can come to you or to me without going through God. So that even further lets you know He's well aware of the ups and the downs and the challenges and the moments of life that we face. And there are certain words that God has left for us to understand that He has us and that He is not allowing things to come because He's not sending things. Hear me clearly. He's not sending things to destroy you, break you down. He's not doing that. Okay? But they have to go through Him. And he does not allow things to come through him, get his okay or approval. Okay, he doesn't allow those things to happen to make you have a breakdown, to make you hide in your bed, to make you give up on life, to make you uh, be depleted and defeated and addicted. He didn't do any of that. He don't allow any of that to happen, for any of those things to happen. Not one of those things are things that God wants for you or for me. But what he will do, hear me clearly, what he will do is he will allow that, right? Allow, things in our lives to happen that we don't want, don't like, don't, appreciate. It's just a fact. But if we were to position ourselves, ground ourselves in the knowledge of knowing that God is still in control and that he will always give us a way of escape, right? And that he is not allowing anything to come to destroy us, right? It's not trying to make me come out of myself, right? And be a different person in a negative way, right? And lose all that I trust and believe and have hope, just give it all. No, 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 no. It's not about that. Not to come out of my character. But come on, listen, here it is. But he is in the character building business. This is what I want to share. I hear that. He's in the character building business. Hear me one more time. He is in the character building business. That's what he's doing. That's why he's allowing it. See, because sometimes we become so complacent, right, that if we don't build up our character, we're not able to even look at ourselves and say, you're doing great. You're the boss today. You're handling it. We can't even get to that place because we are allowing, not even the big things yet, the little things, the little uncomfortable moments, the little transitions to break us, to make us come out of ourselves, to make us change our characters, to make us give up our hope, our faith, our love, our everything. And we have nothing to give anymore. There's a great testimony in your deliverance and your breakthrough from addiction. There's a breakthrough story from coming out of depression. There's a breakthrough story that comes from out of being a healthier person. There's a breakthrough story from you learning how to get through having moments that are making you handicapped because you are feeling like you're having panic attacks and anxiety all the time. Come on, there is a healing and a breakthrough moment. But before we can even get to that, right, we have to see things in a different way. We have to understand that God is in the character building business, not the demolishing business. Come on, somebody. I'm going to have to post that later on today. He's not in demolition business. He's not trying to demolish you. He's trying to build your character. He's trying to build Michelle's character. He's trying to make Michelle a stronger person, a person who's not easily swayed, a person who's not going to easily give up, but going to build up her perseverance and her strength. And that when she opens her mouth, people are going to say, wow, there is something there. I don't know what it is. I don't even believe in God, but there's something there. What is it? Because he's in the character building business. Oh my God, what is that? People going, what is that? What is that? It's the character building business. That's what he does. All the stuff that you go through and the transitions and the struggles and you thinking it's just breaking it down. No. It's in the character building business. So you'll be able to look at your situations from a different angle. and say, "Oh my God, this is a difficult season. This is hard. It's a hard season. But what can I get out of this season? What can I learn from this time in my life? What can I be built upon? What kind of muscles am I developing during this season? What muscles is being formed during this season? What is he doing this season? Because something is changing. Come on, imagine if we took that approach. Imagine if we took the approach of God's in the character building business. And so therefore, this time in my life, oh, it gotta be something that I need for the next season. Oh, I'm not that. I know. I've seen things that was shared with me, 5 years in advance. And this is just a fact. This is the truth. 5 years in advance, and things I went through and didn't understand it, didn't get it, right? And then later on, 5 years later, I go, oh my God, this is why. He was building that character. He was having me do things and prep for things that I didn't even know was coming. Our minds are so limited. Our thinking is, as we said, our thoughts are not his thoughts, because we're so far from his thinking. We don't even get it. You talk about being strategic. You talk about prep work. He does things way in advance, and you so busy trying to figure it out and wonder. No. It's best to say, let me just prepare myself. Let me position myself and say, I trust you. I don't get it, but I trust you. I believe that in this season, there's something that you're doing in this character that I'm going to need. If it's for me or if it's for somebody else I need to share it with. But something is needed. And if I'm a vessel to be used, I have to be positioned. And I have to be ready for whatever he has going on. I have to be ready. So I hope and pray that you got something out of today's podcast. Y'all know I do not like to hold you very long with this, because I want you to take the core of what I'm saying and apply it. Sometimes when you make things too long, it's too much, and it's hard to retain it and be able to apply it, because it's so much. So I try to stay within a certain area so that you can use this immediately. Please today, consider what I'm saying. Think, I know, I believe this will help you. Bless me. It blessed me. Hear me when I say that. It blessed me. God is in the character building business, not the demolition business. That's not what he does. So we have to be aware of what's going on in our lives, to the point where we know that he's doing something, and I want to be positioned rightly so that I can get out of this what I need to get out of it for the next. Amen. God bless you guys so much. I love you. So grateful for this opportunity. So grateful for those who take the time to listen. I pray that you got something out of it. Remember, I love you, but God loves you more. God bless you guys. Have an outstanding day.